Food banks across the country began this year already stretched by record demand and high food prices. Then came another blow, a $1 billion cut in federal food aid, from food banks to meal programs. The Chattanooga Area Food Bank serves 20 counties in southeast Tennessee and northwest Georgia. Melissa Blevins is the food bank's president and CEO. Melissa, thanks for joining us.
Well, thank you so much, Ray, for having me.
Tell us about the impact of the cuts on the work of the Chattanooga Area Food Bank. It's not just Chattanooga or immediately around Chattanooga.
That's right, Ray. It is something that food banks across the entire country are facing, the same similar cuts to food and federal funding. Here locally, we know out of the gate, a couple immediate cuts have affected over $1 million of funding to support the agriculture in both our North Georgia and Tennessee communities with the LFPA program. Other cuts that we've experienced are under the USDA TFAP program. We recently got notification of 13 truckloads that were scheduled to head our way starting now in April through July. 13 truckloads of great TFAP food that we have counted on and count on to provide things like chicken, milk, cheese, all the things that you and I might have in our refrigerator or freezer to feed our families. Those truckloads were canceled pretty much overnight.
How are you able to continue providing any services at this point? What level of services are you able to provide at this point?
We at this point are at the same level of services. First of all, we're a very efficient operation. We are always anticipating future needs, and we knew these things were going to be coming. We weren't sure when and weren't sure what. My operations team, our food sourcing team, and our development team have all been planning and preparing for this. And being part of Feeding America and the network of food banks across the country, we are working to source food to bridge the gap that these trucks that are not coming has created. We got notification. We're working with another food bank, and we're able to start to replace some of those proteins that we aren't able to count on coming in the next couple months. But that cost is different. The cost is more. So we're just investing and trying to find other places to source good quality, nutrient-dense food for our neighbors.
Talk more about the need that you're seeing at this time. We talked about this during the pandemic. We talked about this beyond the pandemic, how more and more people, including where the Chattanooga Area Food Bank serves, the multiple counties, people are turning to more and more.
Yeah, food insecurity is not something that we all often think about, but the reality is any given day in any given year, there are as many or as few as 1 in 3 or 1 in 6 or 1 in 7 of our neighbors that may not know where their next meal is coming from. And that's even when life is normal and there's not a global pandemic or a recession or something like today that we're experiencing with these extraordinary grocery and housing costs. What we're seeing today is different in a lot of ways than most people think about food insecurity or think about people who visit food pantries. We see more and more working families, hardworking moms and dads that are going to work every day, that are making a living, that are paying their bills, but find themselves coming up short and are having to make impossible choices. And typically, I don't know that everyone thinks about food insecurity and food pantries serving those who actually most have jobs, maybe even 2 or 3 jobs, but have to decide on how they're going to put gas in the car and feed their kids. And the other thing that we're seeing more and more of is our seniors, is our wonderful grandparents who worked hard their entire lives to retire well, and they find themselves in a place today that it's an impossible choice because the cost for these seniors to survive is outpacing their retirement or their Social Security. And so we're seeing more of those grandparents or older folks who should be enjoying those days having to muster up the courage to step into a food pantry and ask for some help.
And what you're talking about goes at some of the misconceptions that people have about food banks, how they operate, and who they serve.
Yeah, there's been certainly some misinformation in the community about who we serve and how we serve folks. And I think I just touched on, Ray, is who are the folks that are actually coming to food pantries, and putting judgment aside, just thinking about the humanity of this work and how hard it is for a family or an individual to ask for help. And then the other thing, too, is how food banks work. And, we work with 250 partners across the communities. Most of them are volunteer-led. They're faith-based. And I think there's this idea that we should just be doing more as a community to take care of our own. And the work that this community does, and it doesn't matter if you're in Grundy County or Gilmer County or up in Fannin or over in Ray County, there is amazing community partners that come together every day and try to meet the need in their community. And we need everyone in this puzzle to make it work. We need our community partners, our faith-based partners, our schools, our government friends, local, state, and federal, along with all of the philanthropic support that we get. It takes every bit of it. Only 60% of the food that we can source at the food bank, we source 125 tractor trailers every 3 months. Only 60% of that's donated. So that means we have to go out and buy food. And we buy food and we offer food through our network to our community partners at a steep discount to what maybe a church up in Saudi Daisy could go to the grocery store and get food. We can offer it at a steeper discount. So we do get a lot of donations, but it only makes up about 60% of our supply chain. So we heavily rely on government programs like the TFAP program that we've talked about, the cuts that we're experiencing, and then going out and purchasing food. So it takes more than just community coming together. It takes all of us to bridge the gap that's left for folks experiencing food insecurity.
And for people who want to learn more, people who need to turn to the food bank, people who want to support the food bank, where can they go?
If you want to learn more, maybe you're one of those folks that doesn't really understand fully how it all works, I invite you to come out and tour. We love to give people a nickel tour and an insight into how we make this work happen at our warehouses and our food pantries. That's the best way to see firsthand the real need and this idea that neighbors can help neighbors. And every day we have 50 to 75 volunteers that are helping make this work possible. So also our website has lots of information whether you want to get more involved or you need help. Our website can help you not just find a food pantry near you in whatever community you're in, but we've got folks on staff that can help neighbors who might need to apply for food stamp benefits or WIC or something else. We have navigators that can help kind of direct folks when they're in a crisis to some of those other benefits they need.
And that's chatfoodbank.org.
Yes.
2 T's.
Yep, you got it. Chatfoodbank.org. Lots of information on there. Our social media has a lot of information. It's spring, so right now other ways folks can get involved is it's Grow a Row. So if you're a gardener, you like to plant things, you certainly can grow and harvest vegetables, fruits, and we'll take them here at the food bank at any of our locations or any of our partners. We're in the middle of food drives. Folks are doing a lot of food drives right now and wanting to collect some of the big proteins that the food bank needs, like peanut butter, canned chicken, and tuna. If you're interested in a food drive or volunteering, all of that information is on our website as well.
All right. Melissa, thanks so much.
Ray, thank you. It's always good to see you.